Welcome to my almost daily streams. I'm mayohosko. Thank you so much for watching. I am not building sets because it's part 4 of the golden age of Lego, and this year we're covering the year 1989. And 1989 is a landmark year for Lego because of the big upgrades they made to the minifigures. Big upgrades. Because no longer were we just restricted to the standard smile, but when the pirate sets came out in this year, which we'll scroll through later, you can see that they finally added more facial features, and the Space Police also came out that year to combat the Blacktron sets, which came out in previous years that we've covered in the golden age of Lego. And I was scrolling through the brick set listing for the year, and there's some interesting accessory packs that I didn't know came out in 1999, which I'm going to be excited to cover. So we have Dina, Heather, and Owen so far. So let's get into here. So this is 1989, and I wanna. So what we'll do as normal is we'll do the basic scroll through of we'll do the basic scroll through saying, giving my brief thoughts about some of the sets, and then I'll hand it back over to the chat and see what the chat has to say. Hello, Mr. Blue. Good to see you here, buddy. Anyway, so I'm going to start giving my thoughts. So I don't like this mobile crane as much as the 1986 one. The front end looks a little bit weird, and I'm not sold with those big tires, to be honest. Now, something weird about this Universal building set, set 1513, is that has the white lattice. Did I say something weird? No, I meant to say something cool. Is those white lattice fence pieces? I really like those, and I grew up with them in bulk that I inherited from my brother. So much so that I bought red versions years ago because I really like those pieces. There was a lot of racing stuff that came out in this year because they were really getting into the town racing, and they were really getting into the value packs as well at this time, because they finally had multiple space themes, because they had Futuron, which you can see some of the sets here. And also they were starting to get into the seasonal stuff. Do you want to build a snowman? And also there's an angel and Santa's sleigh, set 1628. Look at those brick built white reindeers. And I think it's funny how they use the 2x2x2 rooftop piece for the Christmas hat, not only on Santa but on the reindeer as well. And some Duplo stuff. And you can see that they had moved on to the newer Duplo logo right here, with the more curved lines. And there was a lot of McDonald's polybags that came out, and I believe a lot of them were exclusive to the US, like this plane right here called the Seagull. That's an older style McDonald's logo. You can see they had lots of these for McDonald's. They had lots of them. And looks like they were either 3 years and up or ages 3 to 12. A different style of the older McDonald's logo right there. I have no idea what this is. It's a container set. I hope that has to do with intermodal containers. I really do. Not seeing anything interesting in these basic building sets. Not any cool pieces or anything. Now, the thing about this set 1899, racing car number 1, is I have that printed slope, but I don't have the rest of the set. But with the pieces I have now, I could very, very easily piece that together if I wanted to. They had this really interesting fairing, and I believe Viking Line was is a is a ferry service in the Baltic Sea. But if I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comments. This is a very rare set, 1952, the milk truck, because this is a Danish milk company, as you can see, a Denmark's International Imagerie. They didn't make a lot of things. They didn't make a lot of those. I believe those stickers are exclusive to this set. Yeah, and it was a promotional release with MD Foods in Denmark. And something around this time is they started making these really basic planes, and they interchanged the stickers in them so that they could sell them on different airlines. So there's one for Fly Emirates right there. And this was a cool triple pack set, 1974. You had a helicopter for town, a mini flyer for space, and a cart for castle. And I believe this is the helicopter that came in that set. As is this for castle, and this for space. But this one still has the older Duplo logo, so I'm not sure what's up with that. And these other Duplo sets have the older style logo as well. Although this farm bucket's pretty cool because you get the windmill. You get the windmill and some of those neat farm animals. And this is funny. This is a cannonball car for the clowns at the Duplo circus. Dina needs to get this set. So anyone, hey Roaming Bricks, good to see you here, buddy. Hey General Tron, good to see you here, buddy. Hey Alternate Candidate, good to see you here, buddy. Owen's rebuilding Star Wars droids. Anything else interesting? Tron has one of those. Oh no, you have all of those slopes, 1 to 4. With the raceway. Was that the Victory Lap raceway set? Because that's my favourite set from the previous year, 1988, if anyone remembers that episode. It is cute. And yes, you do need that set, Adina, because you really like clouds. Not clouds, clowns. Yeah, because it's a dumb feature. It's dumb. Now, this is pretty cool. This kind of reminds me of a Fabuland set, but it's in the Duplo. And this was the last year of the Fabuland theme. I always like when we get the service stations in sets. They used to do them a lot in the 80s and the 90s, not so much anymore. There's a really wild and crazy fire station. Probably one of the more elaborate fire stations that Duplo ever made. And this is an interesting one, and this is one of my fan favorites from the Fabuland theme, set 3647, Lionel's Lions Classroom, because it has my favorite of the Fabuland characters, Clive Crocodile. I like that a lot. Try to spot if Clive is in any of those others. I don't think so. Now we're moving on to the accessory packs. some of the service packs. This was an interesting one. This was the stop start reverse track piece for the monorail. I didn't know they sold this as its own set, because they sell the other. Yeah, they sell. I knew they sold the motor for the monorail separately, and they have some of the wires you could buy separately. Some train pieces you could buy separately. Electronics you could buy separately. Some of that was for the 12-volt trains. Some of the Technic pneumatic pieces. Now, this is an interesting service pack. Set 5182 hinges and couplings. I bought on Bricklink those red hinges that have that are the plates, because I want to make an airport vehicle that needs those. Oops. I bought those on Bricklink a while ago. And this is another really cool one, the castle elements, because you get the 2 sprues of the feather plumes, you get a whole bunch of shields, you get a whole bunch of helmets, you get some flags, and you get a whole bunch of weapons. If you were a castle collector and you were trying to stage some battles, then you might have wanted this accessory pack back in the day. And something worth noting about this set, 5188, is this has the inverted windscreens. These are the regular windscreens, but these are the inverted ones. I want more of those inverted windscreens really badly. And there's more inverted windscreens, but that's for space sets, because it's in the trans yellow. And you could used to buy the cypress tree separately in a 2-pack. How awesome was that? Now, yeah, you can see how much the difference in price between when they were on shelves and what they're selling for now. And this was the second generation of the forklift forks, because it had the 4 wide forks instead of the 2 wide forks. They don't make that. They don't make those tow truck pieces anymore. And they used to sell the studs on a sprue in the 80s. They don't do that anymore. Those are some weird Technic pieces. I've seen that black rod and that grey bone to axle adapter that they still sell that, but I've never seen that blue piece or that white piece before. I've never seen it. Now we're getting on into some of the castle stuff. Let's see what people were saying. A lot of people wish they had the cypress tree, including me. I got one of the inverted windscreens from the 1982 freighter boat. I don't understand the context of that question. Okay. Yeah. So this is probably my favorite joust set ever. I've said it a couple times, but this is my favorite joust set ever. It's just really cool. And this is my favorite of the Forestman sets. The Forestman's River Fortress. It's the first of the Forestman sets that I saw in the LEGO history book and said, yes, I like this faction, because it's on water and it's got a really cool facade. Now the interior is rather lackluster, but I think the facade is so cool. The way they blended the stone with the tree, I really like it. That's my favorite of the Forestman sets. And also, this was the first year of pirates, so already you can see they were moving away from the classic smiley face. You get pirates with hair and facial hair, and there's the first monkey, Spinoza, and there's the first gold coins. In previous sets, they used the yellow studs as gold coins. And so from 1989 to 1991, they had the blue coats for the French imperial soldiers. In 1992, they changed that to be the red coats, British imperial guards. So there's the harbour sentry. It's really awkward how they had just a cannon in a rowboat. I think that cannon would cause a puncture in the deck of that boat. Probably the most appealing minifigure out of all this is the female pirate, because I believe she was outside of this minifigure pack. She was exclusive to the Black Seas Barracuda, but that's nice. And they made some print media for the Pirates theme. This is still probably my favorite raft they've ever made for the Pirates. And it includes First Mate Rumming holding the treasure map. And a shark. And I believe I have this set. I think I might have got it in a pirates set. No, sorry, a value pack that had pirates in it. All I know is that I have this palm tree piece. So it might have been maybe a smaller version without the base plate, but I have something very similar to Shipwreck Island. Saber Island, it's just such a cool piece. Also uses that same island base plate, that 16 by 16, a small little outpost that I could sing in at the in front of a bay where the soldiers have set up a colony. Forbidden Island is probably the second best pirate island set they ever made. It includes a 32 by 32 version of that island base plate. So many big pieces. You get the jail bar door for the brig. You get the stairs. You get the flags. You get the curved. So you get the corner castle wall. You get the ladders for the crow's nest and the bucket that goes on top. You get the palm trees. You get the shark. You get the rope bridge. There's a lot of big pieces in it. Despite it only having 182 pieces, it looks bigger than what it actually is because of all those big pieces. And I got to say, I don't like the Caribbean Clipper as much as the Imperial flagship from 1992. I don't. I just don't. And also, I like the Imperial Trading Post from 1992 more than the Eldorado Fortress from 1989. And also, I used to think that the box art, well, now I'm of the opinion that the box art makes the set look better than what it actually is, because you can see where that cannon is. That's in the middle of a courtyard. And actually, one of the alternate builds from this set looks better, in my opinion, because there's less open space, which makes it feel less empty. I saw the YouTube channel Vintage Bricks make that, and I like the alternate build better than the main set. That's just me. And also, this is an all-timer Black Seas Barracuda set 6285, still many people's favorite pirate set that Lego ever made. I'll let you bask in the glowing of that. Oh, and it has 6 of those windshields. I wish I did. So you chose the Forestman's River Crossing over the Forestman's River Fortress. I know a lot of people who really like the Forestman's River Crossing. I think I preferred the Fortress. Anyway, that was the Barracuda. And now we're getting on to some of the town sets. This was a nice little horse riding set. There's a small pine tree back there. It's a cute little building. This was one of the town sets that came on the Garage Bay road base plates, the Coastal Rescue Base. I'm not as crazy about this set as other people are. However, something I am crazy about is the holiday home with camper. This is so wholesome. You could fit this into a neighborhood even now in someone's Lego city, and it would still look good. They were still doing the lights and sounds back then. With that helicopter, had a 9-volt battery inside. This is a tipper truck, but not Briggs's tipper truck. They were really getting into drag racing now. Can see stuff for Shell right there. And this one had suspension. You can see the wheels are tilted right there because it has suspension. And this was that TV set I was talking about on one of my streams a while back. Has the printed panel on the side with the TV logo and a brick-built camera. That's nice. And this was the first year of the Space Police theme. This was Space Police 1, which had the black, blue, and trans red color scheme. And this was the last year of Futuron, I must remember to say. I like the way that those jail bars were built with the antenna pieces to look like the lasers with the jail bars. That's nice. And they used that same build in a lot of other sets. And this was the main HQ. This was the main jail that Space Police had back then. And there's a rack and pinion piece that has a really cool play feature for this. And this was the biggest set, the Mission Commander. And as it notes here, was also known as the Galactic Enforcer in some places. I like the look of this, but the 1992 version for Space Police 2 had way more play features in it. And they were doing a lot of adventurous stuff for Technic back then because of the pneumatic system. There's a nice forklift. And also, look at this. Bridge and rails in Duplo. I remember playing with this set in elementary school, and I thought those switch tracks and the bridge pieces were really cool. And more editions of Brick Kicks magazine. I never got into that magazine. And that was everything from 1989. That was everything. That was everything from 1989. One of the best years for Lego ever. But if I was to pick a favorite, it's a hard choice. There's a lot of good sets. I really like the Space Lockup Isolation Base. I really like the holiday home with camper. I really like the Forbidden Island. The Forestman's River Fortress is my favorite set from the Forestman faction. Knight's Challenge is my favorite joust set ever. The Cypress Tree might be one of the... No, sorry. I am going to call this the best service pack ever. I like this set because of Clive Crocodile. Didn't really care for the McDonald's Happy Meal sets. Didn't really care for the value packs. This is one of the rarest, and yeah, it's one of the rarest and unknown sets ever, which makes it cool as a collector, at least. You know what? I think I have a decision. After scrolling through all of these sets again, I think I am going to say, if I scroll back down here, that the Forestman's River Fortress is my favorite set from 1989. So Tron likes the SP Striker. Also, so everyone else can let me know what their favorite set from 1989 is. And I think we're gonna cut this at a half an hour stream. Yeah, we're gonna cut this at a half an hour stream. Because I've given all of my thoughts, and the chat wasn't as busy as it was 2 weeks ago. So this is my pick for my favorite year. That's like for my favorite set of 1989. And Dina likes the clown set, as she already mentioned earlier. I will say, Tron, that Space Police 1 probably had the best color scheme of all of the Space Police sets. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day there. And I'm actually, is there? Let me just check very quickly on something. Nah. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna cut it there. So thanks for watching this stream. It is appreciated. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. In 2 weeks' time, we will be covering the year 1990, which is when the airport shuttle came out. And this time next week, we will be doing another minifigure stream with TMC Heather, the two-parter, as always. G.I. Mayo. So y'all can look forward to that. So, and I'll be finishing off the Icons of Play tomorrow, at the same time. So I'll see you on the next live stream, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.